What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Introduction to Singles. I'm really excited. This is the foundational skill that you need in order to do everything else in drumming. Without good singles, you cannot play other figures accurately. You won't be able to play as fast as you want to play, and you really won't be able to do much of anything. All right, so this exercise is the key to drumming. All right, so what are we focusing on in this exercise? The real idea that we want to walk away with is the ability to rebound the stick. All right, so when you're playing the drum and you're learning how to get better at drumming, the first key is understanding legato strokes. I just said understanding. I hope you caught that because I caught it. You want to rebound the stick. Rebound, just like a basketball. All right, if you're bouncing a basketball, all you have to do is push down. Right, you push down on the ball, it leaves your hands, it hits the ground, and it comes right back up to you. This is the exact same idea. The stick is in your hand, you push down with the stick, you turn your wrist back down towards the drum, and it's going to bounce right back up for you. All right, if you don't put a lot of energy in, it'll rebound less. If you put even less energy, it'll rebound even less. But regardless, that's what we're working on. But when we're working on singles, we really want to work on nice, big, legato, open, rebounded strokes. Okay, so how do you know if you're playing a legato stroke, a nice rebounded stroke? Because really, I can bring the stick back up, but I'm not letting it rebound. All right, so it's not, the key isn't what it looks like. The key isn't what height are you playing at, where your sticks are up here, right? The key is, what does it feel like? Does it feel like you're just bouncing a basketball, right? That's what you want it to feel like. So this exercise is going to work on that idea. All right, so that's the main goal of this exercise. So let's throw the first chunk up here, and you're going to notice that the first chunk and the second chunk and more on is very, very similar. Okay, because we're only doing really one thing in this exercise. The one thing we're doing is we are playing eighth notes with your right hand, and then we're going to play eighth notes with the left hand. So the first two bars of this exercise are 8 notes with your right hand and then 8 notes with your left hand. That's it. And you count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right? Every quarter note has a downbeat of 1. Every eighth note we count with an and. 1 and 2 and, just like I did. All right? So that's the first two bars. All you need to play is 8 notes with your right hand, 8 notes with your left hand, and that's what we've got. Okay, so the point here, 3 and 4 and is rebounding, 2 and 3 and 4 and. We want to make the stick bounce back up to the exact same height every single time, even if eventually we play down here, like we play faster sometimes. Right? You don't need to play it all the way up here because it might not make sense. So you want it to rebound to the same exact height, whatever that happens to be. All right? You want it to sound the same. Right? You need to make sure that every time you hit the drum, it's exactly the same. Otherwise, you're going to get, right? You're going to get wacky sounds. It might not be what you're going for. You might want it to sound, we've all heard that drum set, Phil, right? Full bar of 16th notes on the snare drum. But it's not the same if your right hand doesn't sound the same. Right? It could be anything else if your hands don't sound the same. Same thing, right hand to left hand. Does your left hand sound exactly the same? So that's what we want to focus on in the first two bars. Perfect eighth notes, accurate rhythms, and accurate, consistent sounds. Cool? All rebounding the stick. All right, and then we get to the third bar, or the second phrase here, which is 16 notes with the right hand. So we do an extended phrase with the right hand. So we go 8 and 3 and 4 and. Then we go to the left hand, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then we go 16 notes with the right hand. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. All right, so that's the first half of this exercise. It's not really half, but for all intents and purposes, that's half. Okay? So Nothing changes when you add the 16, so we call that 8, 8, 16 with the right hand. Okay, so if you ever hear that phrase, that's what we're talking about. All right, things to think about as we're changing bars. Stopping the stick, right? So we have to 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, stop. Otherwise, because if we don't stop the stick here to let the left hand play, then our stick's just going to be floating and it's going to look real weird and it's not going to make any sense and your hand doesn't need to be there. So let's make our stick stop. So we go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, down 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, down 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, down. And then to go to the next phrase, you guessed it, we're going all off the left that time. So then we go 8, 8, 16 off the left. Okay, so let's do that together. So we go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 then we go back to the right hand. Cool? So that's the first 2/3 of the exercise, really. So 8, 8, 16, 8, 8, 16. And again, the whole time we're just practicing legatos. We're just practicing nice rebounded strokes, stopping the stick, making everything feel good, turning the wrist, right? Leading with the beat. Your wrist turns first, right? And then you add a little bit of arm if needed. Making sure your fingers are on the stick, you're not squeezing too much, you're letting the stick bounce, okay? If you squeeze too much, like we talked about, it will not rebound. You know what it feels like when it rebounds, because a stick, I mean, it wants to go over there. If I don't control it, it'll fly away, it'll fly right out of my hand. That's great, that you want to control that energy. Being a great drummer means using as little energy as possible and doing the most with it, right? You want to be as efficient as possible. Okay? So that's pretty much it. The last phrase here is 2 bars of 16th notes. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1. And you guessed it, you're still playing 8th notes, right? Your right hand didn't change. That's what 16th notes is. And if you switch, so all we're doing is we're moving our notes closer together. Our hands are playing almost on top of each other. So all that changes is the rhythm, right? Because we're probably not really aiming. I mean, it's important to be able to play really consistent 8th notes. I mean, playing on a hi-hat, that can be really cool, super important. There's a lot of reasons to be able to play great 8th notes with one hand. But that's probably not what you're aiming for. That's probably not why you came to this video. You probably came to this video because you want to eventually play, right? And to get there, you need to be able to play really slow, really accurately, and playing with perfect rebounds. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And don't worry, I don't count through any of the videos. I'm just doing it now to make sure you know we're all on the same page. Okay, I put the metronome on in the videos and we go through this whole exercise straight through, and then we do it a whole bunch of times so you get a million reps and you log your 10,000 hours that it takes to become a professional and excellent at something. So that's the whole exercise. It's not terribly complicated. In fact, it's as simple as we can possibly make it. And that's so, number one, you memorize it really quickly. And 2, you're not spending time thinking about the exercise. Like, what am I going to do next? What's the next right hand, left? You don't have to worry about it because you're going to memorize it like that. And then you get to focus on, all right, how are my hand transitions? What does my left hand doing when my right hand is playing? It's called your tacit hand, right? Is it just tacit, silent, not moving? Or is it floating off in outer space because you didn't even realize, oh man, I got to pay attention to that hand, right? The fact that the exercise is simple allows you to do that, all right? So there's a million things to talk about when going through this exercise, and I'll point them out as we go, but that's the foundation, right? You start with a great setup, make sure your grip is in control. and you're ready to go. All right. Let me know if you have any questions down in the comments or reach out on email. I'll be happy to get back to you. But otherwise, go ahead, check out 80 to 90 beats per minute. That's the first place to start. And I'm really excited to see you there. And thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much for playing along. If you liked that video, please let me know down below. Let me know why you liked it. Let me know what you're working on so I can make more things exactly for what you need. And if you didn't like it, keep it to yourself. No, if you didn't like it, please let me know why down below, because I want to make videos that you need. What skill sets do you need? What would make you better faster? Let me know. And if you want to get some real feedback, tag me in videos. Send me an email, tag me on Instagram, tag me on YouTube. I want to give you comments. I want to make this a community, and I want us to all get better at drums faster. All right, I'll see you in the next one.